Hi guys, Ann here, and today we have a little coffee talk. After this video, I'm getting ready to go grocery shopping, so I'm going to take you guys with me, but we'll put that in a separate vlog, so this ain't too long, because you know I'm a talker. So I have not put a video out in a minute. I'm trying to get comfy here because my back has been hurting lately. I just did some unboxings for my beauty channel. I did a trend mood unboxing, and then I did an advent calendar. Oh my god, you don't want to miss that one. So I wanted to come on and talk to you guys for a little bit. I seen a few comments that I got, and this just reminded me, and I wanted to share a story with you. You know, holidays are coming, so Thanksgiving, today's Monday when I'm filming, and Thanksgiving is a very hard holiday for me. If you don't know, it'll be 5 years. 5 years. My mother passed away in 2019 on November 28th, which was Thanksgiving that year. I got the call about 9 a.m. and it's been very hard. Just a few days prior to that, me and my mom were talking about how hard Thanksgiving would be because my grandmother had passed that February, and my mother and grandmother always lived together since I was like 12, 13, even when I was younger, off and on, you know. And, you know, I looked at my grandmother as my second mother, you know. I was very, very close to her. And it was very hard for us. And my mother was on hospice as well. But I never thought she was going to pass. Like, you just never think your mom's going to pass. At least for me. And it was just hard. You know, it seemed like for the past 5 years, every time you turn around, something happened. We had the house fire first in 2018. Then a couple months later, in February, my grandmother passed. Then my daughter had open heart and lung surgery in October, and she almost died twice that month. And then a month later, my mom passed. And then a few months later, me and my husband separated for the first time. And then, it was just boom after boom after boom after boom. Like, it was rough. And I kept saying, like, is this going to get any better? Like, God, what did I do? You know, awful, awful. I would just sit in my room and cry, you know. And then when I moved here, here's my bed here, I would just sit here and cry. Oh, it was horrible. Then I was dealing, like I said, stuff on my personal life. And I had to be strong for my children. You know, they didn't see me upset and all that type of stuff, right? 2022, I had a heart attack and I had surgery. And then this year, my divorce was finalized this past January. Things are finally looking up. I'm dating somebody and I'm very happy. In the best headspace that I've been in many, many years. I had a few comments, especially one today when I seen. And, you know, it's hard for a lot of people on the holidays. It really is. Especially ones that now are raising kids and Christmas is coming. And, you know, my kids are grown. My youngest is 20. My oldest is 29. You know, and I have Lexi who's 24. And I get it. You guys know I raised my kids in the projects. There were many times that I couldn't even put up a Christmas tree because the kids literally woke up with nothing under the tree. I couldn't afford anything. You know, I had to tell my kids a few times, like, well, you know, Santa Claus has been busy and some of the elves were sick. And so they're just going to go to kids that don't have anything. There's so many kids, you know, and, you know, as a mother, I was a single mom, you know, as a mother, oh God, that hurts your heart, you know. And I always try to teach my kids, you know, Santa Claus is man-made, is made up. Right? That's not what Christmas is about, you know. Somebody decided to put a tree in, you know, and have gifts when that's not what it's about. And so, like, you know, I took my kids to feed the homeless and, you know, at different churches and different things we did. Thanksgiving, that's what they did when they were younger. Before we came home and cooked and had our own Thanksgiving meal, we got up real early and I took my kids to feed people that were homeless, that weren't as blessed as us to have food and you know, and all that stuff. You know, I share a lot that I read the Bible a lot. I do. I have my Bible right here. It's a study Bible, you guys can see, and I read it, you know, every day, especially at nighttime. And something told me to start reading the book of Job again, which I read it before, but I wanted to read it, and I want to share this with you because I don't know. Something keeps making me say, like, you got to talk about this. So I never come on here and get preachy, or I know everybody has different beliefs. Some people believe in God, some people don't. There's different religions and all that type of stuff. And I'm never the type like, oh, you must seek God, you must believe in God, or you're going to go to hell. Like, I don't talk like that. But it's somebody that needs to hear this, and I beg you to listen to the whole thing, because it's not that I'm preaching to you. I want to share the story. I think that's the problem in churches these days, at least for me. They don't teach the Bible anymore. Yeah, you have Sunday school and all of that, but they don't teach the Bible, what's in the Bible, right? And so I want to share a story of the book of Job. It's spelled Job. Some people think it's Job, but it's pronounced Job. It's right after Esther and right before Psalms. Okay, so it's right there in the middle. And Job is from a place called Oz. It's spelled U-Z, but it's pronounced Oz, like the Wizard of Oz. Okay. And he was a very, very rich man. He had, oh my goodness, he was so blessed and faithful, very faithful and religious, okay? And he had all these cattle and camels and oxes and all of this stuff. And he had a wife and he had 10 children. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. And a lot of times, the oldest child, like birthday parties and all that, they would go celebrate and party and all that. And Job, afterwards, he would always go, and in the Bible it says he would sacrifice. Now, sacrifice back then meant, in nowadays terms, as prayer. So he would always pray for him, because if they're drinking or what have you, or partying, you know what I mean? So that's what he did. See, back then, before there was churches and pastors and preachers or ministers or whatever you want to, you call it, the head of household and the person responsible for teaching you was the man, the father. Okay, so the father would sit down and teach different things and faithfulness and do the prayers and all of that stuff. He was responsible for his household. Okay, and so the devil goes to God because, see, the devil can't do anything unless he has God's permission. Okay, and the devil was talking to him and say, oh, you think these people are so religious and all of this stuff? I bet you, name one person if I come and I'll take things from them, and I bet you he will curse you. So God says, well, I have Job. He's very faithful, and no matter what you do, he's not going to curse me. And the devil says, well, I bet you if I took everything from him, he would lose his faith. And God says, okay, well, go ahead, but don't you lay a finger on him, on Job. So what did the devil do? Job lost all of his animals, as they call it in the Bible, servants. His workers would come to him one by one. So as they came to him and said, oh, I'm the only one that survived. I was held by a knife or whatever they used, and they took all your cattle. And then as they were talking, another man comes in and says, oh, they just took all your camels. And as he was talking, it just kept going. And then the guy comes in. Now, remember, I told you he had 10 children, and they were all at like a party or what have you, and all 4 corners, the house caved in, and all of his kids passed away. So in one day, he lost everything, okay? And he didn't curse at God, He was just mad, but he didn't curse at God. Even his wife, and then his wife left him, right? Because his wife was like, how can you not curse that, or what have you? And the devil comes back to God, and the devil goes, okay, well, I bet you if we do this and this to him, he will curse you or lose his faith. So God says, okay, you could do this, but in other words, you don't unalive him. You do whatever you want to him, but make sure he still stays alive. So the devil, Job woke up and he had all these sores and from head to toe, very painful. Okay, it's kind of like if you go into a fire and you're burnt from head to toe from a house fire. That pain in the skin and all of that. He still didn't curse God. He still kept his faith. So a couple days later, Job had 3 friends that came to visit him. Okay, now back in those days, especially in the Jewish faith, whoever is grieving, you stay in silence. So if you lost somebody and I came to visit you, I would stay quiet and wouldn't say anything until the person who lost said a word. So it took 7 days. So his 3 friends stayed with him in silence for 7 days. And Job finally started talking. And his friends were basically saying, like, well, maybe just apologize. You had to have all this done to you. You must have sinned. And he says, no, I will not. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not going to apologize. And his friends were, just kept telling him over and over again, you need to do this, or it had to be something that you did. So after all of that, losing everything he owned, it's like having a house fire and you lose everything, right? Everything that you have, all of your money, everything. You lost all of your children, everything that's worth anything to you. Your wife leaves you. You are in so much pain and these sores and everything. And he still never cursed at God. Do you know what he did? He cursed himself. He asked God, why did you even have me born? I wish I was never born. I wish I never, like he was just going on and on. But he never cursed at God or was angry at God. So God goes to Job and, they're talking and stuff. And God was very upset of Job's friends. And he said, because your friends did not tell you the truth, in other words, like, you should repent, you did something wrong, he took away some bulls and, animals and different things from them and all of that. And Job had to pray for his friends because, like I always say in the Bible says, pray, even pray for your enemies, right? And because he never lost his faith, he never cursed God. God gave him back twice as much cattle. He had 10 children again, 7 sons and 3 daughters. He lived till he was 140 years old. He was blessed. His children were blessed. Their children were blessed because he didn't lose his faith. Now, he did question God. And in the book of Job, God never gives the answers to the questions. Why is this happening and all that type of stuff. It never did that. So basically, what the book of Job is really trying to teach us is we can have everything taken from us. We can lose all, and sometimes we just don't know why. We don't understand. See, how I always say, oh, it's karma, it's karma. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not from sin, right? It's not from consequences. Sometimes God does things to, one, either teach us a lesson or see where our faith is, to see how you react. And because he never lost his faith, right? Because he never cursed at God, okay? He got back twice as much. So there's always a reason for things to happen. And sometimes when things happen, boom after boom after boom, we're like, why? What did I do? But sometimes God is preparing you for something even better, or to see where your faith is, or what have you. Or maybe you're going through this so you can help somebody else out. Maybe I went through a lot of things I went through, even in my childhood, even raising my children, being a single mom, getting in trouble, being an alcoholic, being a crackhead, being all this type of stuff, is so that eventually I would have a YouTube channel and a vlog channel that I can talk and help somebody, even if I just help one person, to say, look, if I did it and made through the storm, you can too. Because had I not experienced everything that I experienced, I wouldn't be the woman I am today. Back then, when I was 17, 18, oh my God, if I thought you were a crackhead, let's keep it real. But like, that crackhead ain't getting in my car. I thought I was better than people. I did. I judged people. Oh my God, yes, I did. I really did. I thought I was better than people. I didn't have empathy for people. If I went to somebody's house and their house was, oh my God, chaotic and dirty and messy and what have you, I would make fun of them and judge them. I don't do that now. You know what I do now is say, what's wrong? What happened to that person? What are they going through? How can I help you? I know there's a reason. Now, there's some people that like to live like that, but 99% of us isn't. There's a reason. We suffer from depression. We suffer from, or whatever the case may be. Had I not went through what I went through, I would not be so empathetic. I wouldn't be so giving and help and all that type of stuff. So God made, listen, I would even judge people. I used to think back when I was 17, 18 years old, I could take your man. Now, I never did stuff like that. I didn't do it. But in my head, I thought I could have any man I wanted. God showed me. He said, oh, yeah? All that hair that you get compliments for, guess what? That's why I suffer from hair loss. This is a fake ponytail. I use hair fiber, okay? So you can't see my scalp. This is hair fiber and all that type of stuff. Hence why I don't wear my hair down. I was way overweight and stuff. I suffered from a stomach of insulin resistance and everything like that. Sometimes I would look like I was 7, 8 months pregnant because I never had abs, but I always had a flat stomach. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. And I don't judge people. I don't talk about people's looks. I don't do, like, it. Listen, I know if you're going through a hard time. I get it, and there are so many people that had just lost somebody, and I get it. And the holidays and Thanksgiving, and we think we're family, What a blow to lose somebody on Thanksgiving. Trust me. But you know what? Now I look at it as like, boy, God showed me family. Don't take family for granted. Right? That's why I spend so much time with my children, right? And I used to put videos out all the time. I spend time with my kids. I watch football. I'm an Eagles fan. Last night was the Eagles. They played at 8:30 last night, right? My son, my 29-year-old is watching it with me, okay? I'd rather spend time with my children because tomorrow's never promised. Who would have thought at 45 years old I would have had a heart attack? Right? I can go to bed tonight and not wake up. My kids can go on their way to work and get in a car accident and not come home. We don't know what tomorrow, any minute, what's going to happen 10 minutes from now. Before the house fire, now I realize like all this stuff is just stuff. Yes, things are sentimental and all that stuff, but I have nothing of my mother and grandmother's, right? I have a pair of shoes of my mother's, My mother only moved back into this house. It wasn't even 30 days before she passed since the fire, right? It took over a year to rebuild this house. So there's nothing because we lost everything in that fire. But you have your memories, see? You can't take your memories away. So yes, I wish I had some sentimental stuff for my mother and grandmother, but it taught me a lesson too. Instead of stuff, I'd rather have the memories, making traditions, spending time with my kids, making those memories, spending time with your loved ones, with your family. That's what means a lot to me. Talking to my friends, spending time with my friends. I'm not the type of person that like talk on the phone. I like being with my friends and making those memories, It also taught me too, who really cares about me and who doesn't. When times are hard, everybody's there when things are doing good. Everybody, right? But who's there when times are bad, when you're going through it? Does somebody call you toxic? Or do they say, damn, she's going through things. Let me be there for her. And always remember, there's always somebody that has it worse than you. And I know it's easier said than done, but when you're going through it, just remember, instead of thinking all the things you don't have or what you wish you had, think of the things that you have. When I was raising my kids, right, a single mom, not getting child support, living in the projects, couldn't have Christmas and all this type of stuff, right? At the end of the month, because I was on food stamps, at the end of the month, I was literally counting change so I can go to McDonald's because it was cheaper to get a Happy Meal than go to the store and get meats and potatoes and all that. Let's keep that a buck, right? I wish I can go back. I knew what I knew now and go back in time and say, well, I have 3 healthy children. There's so many of us women that can't get pregnant and all they wish is to have just one child, or they can get pregnant but can't hold a baby, carry a baby and have suffered all these miscarriages. But I have 3 healthy children. That's a blessing. I've never got, even though I lived in the projects, I've never got evicted. Had papers sometimes that threatened to evict me, but I never got to that point. That's a blessing. I never went to bed hungry. My kids never went to bed hungry. That's a blessing. I was able to get clean. It's been 20 years. Tyler was what, 8, 9 years old. He doesn't really remember. Lexi was like, do you know what I mean? Lexi was 4. Isaiah was 3 weeks old. They don't remember me drinking and drugging and all that stuff. That's a blessing. I had my grandmother until she was almost 92 years old. I had my mother until she was 66. That's a blessing. Some people don't have that. I used to, when I was raising my kids, I was like, oh, why? I wish I lived in a house. And all of my friends that had houses, I used to be so jealous. Or if they were married, or they had kids by their husband, or the kids' fathers were in their lives. Oh my God, I would have gave my left arm for it. But now I see you can't judge a book by its cover. I am so glad. Now, yes, I wish my kids had a father figure, but I'm glad that my kids were raised happy, right? For the most part. I wasn't married, or their father, they didn't see them drinking or drugging or abusive or hitting me or they didn't experience any of that stuff, because it could. We don't know. Just because we see it, that doesn't mean that's how it is. People are fake. They play characters, right? Nobody knew I was in a bad marriage until I told you guys, right? You guys thought it was like a perfect marriage, right? I show you what I want to show you, right? A lot of people do. So that's why I say all that. Times are hard, but be thankful for what you have. When you're upset, if you don't know what you're going to do for Christmas, be thankful you have your children and that they're healthy. Because Christmas isn't about gifts. It's us, the parents, that are more hurt than the children, right? When your kids are grown, or even you as an adult, tell me what you got. Can you tell me everything you got when you were a kid? Yeah, there might be certain things, like when I got my bike I really wanted, or my doll that was like a life-size doll. Remember that had like skates on, and would skate and all that. Certain things you do remember, of course. But do you remember everything that you got? No. It's us. It's the parents that think, well, I want to do better than what I had. But then you're teaching your kids materialistic stuff. So my point to this vlog, Coffee Talk, is when life gets too hard, and just remember, God's always there. He is never going to give you something you can't handle. Even when you think, I can't handle, I don't know why I can't go through this. Trust me, you are stronger than what you think. And keep your faith. That was the last thing my grandmother said to me, was keep your faith. One of the last things. And we don't always know why we went through things. And you can't always think, oh, I'm going through this because of maybe I did this. No, some things are to prepare you for something better. I was so upset I didn't want to get divorced. Oh my God, even though it wasn't in a good marriage, but I wanted to keep my marriage. I wanted things to work. I loved my husband. I thought, oh my God, nobody's going to want me, blah, blah. But guess what? After he left and all that, and we're divorced, and yes, it's like grieving, like a funeral, but I am happier than I have been in 13 years. And I met somebody that treats me so good, that shows me more attention than my husband ever did in 13 years. Right? He was preparing me for something better, and to appreciate something better. I really recommend reading the book of Job. Like I said, if you don't know where it's at, it's right after Esther and right before Psalms. And I really do recommend you read that. And it's one of my favorite stories in the Bible. Not my favorite, but one of my favorites. And I don't know, if I was Job, if I can handle everything he went through. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I used to be the type that I wanted to have all these friends, and I hated when somebody was mad at me. Oh, I hated it. But now, as I'm getting older, I'm almost 50, and I'm like, I'd rather have one good friend than have 10 fake motherfuckers. You know what I mean? 10 people that really don't care about me, or I care more about them than they care about me. You know? I'm happy with just having 1 or 2 friends. Anyway, like I said, I really don't know what this coffee talk is about. It just kept telling me, like, to share this story of the book of Job. And like I said, I don't talk a lot about the Bible and get preachy. I know a lot of the Bible. And I don't know. I feel like there's somebody here that has to hear that whatever you're going through, it will get better. It's nothing that you did. And it's going to get better. I promise you it'll get better. And just Thank God for the blessings that you do have, and stop looking at the negative. Look at the positive. I guess that's my point, and keep your faith. All right, I'm going to get off of here. I need to go food shopping, so my next vlog will be more positive. Well, this is a positive vlog, but it won't be like this. Don't forget to check out my beauty channel and also my new channel, Justine. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there. We're like at 840 subscribers. I don't know if I'll be able to go live tonight because, to be honest, going grocery shopping and Walmart and all that, your girl's going to be tired, trust me. But tomorrow's Tuesday, so I'm going to try to go live tomorrow and do the, what do you call that, StreamYard, where you guys can come up and panel with me and talk to me and all that type of stuff. So we're going to do that. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here, and let me know down below if this resonated with you. Are you the one that I'm talking to? Let me know down below. All right, don't forget to thumbs up the video, thumbs it down, all of that. Make sure you leave a comment, even if it's just an emoji. It really does help with engagement. It means the absolute world to me and to Akira. She's sleeping good, ain't she? Stay beautiful, stay blessed, stay healthy, and most importantly, always stay you. Never let somebody take you out of your character. Do as I say, not as I do. Bye. Oh my God. I always have mascara running down my face. Jesus. Maybe I need to stop putting mascara on. Oh God, now I look like I have a black eye. Bye.